It's an industry that's linked to the history of our province. Forestry has seen highs and lows, challenges and growth over the years. The provincial government says the next decade could be some of the most positive years for the industry yet.
We make great products up here and we have a good experienced workforce, so I think people should be very optimistic about doing business up here.
Steve Zika's voice is one of optimism for British Columbia's forest industry. But it was a trying year for Hampton Affiliates, which owns the burned-down Babine sawmill in Burns Lake. Dealing with the initial shock of the tragedy was the CEO's first priority.
It's so terrible. We've never been involved in something where people actually got killed from an explosion of sawmills. So just facing the reality and how to deal with the workers and what we could do for them.
Then the focus changed to the rebuild, how to ensure a new sawmill could be viable for years to come.
Trying to work with the government and the First Nations to make sure that we could put together a package of timber that would make us feel comfortable, not 100% comfortable, but comfortable enough that there'd be timber so that we didn't rebuild the mill and then 2 years later say, well, sorry, there's no timber, we got to shut it down.
The choice to rebuild followed months of work with local communities and First Nations.
First Nations are going to control a lot of the wood, so you have to be out, you have to show them that you're a community type of thing. You're going to invest in the community, you're going to be a good corporate sponsor, you're going to take care of things in the woods, do the right things environmentally.
The provincial government says it's a strategy that works and one that will be common in the future.
Long term, there's no question that First Nations are going to be bigger and bigger players in the forest industry. We need to respect that. We need to work collaboratively with First Nations to make sure that they are true partners as the industry grows back to a position of health.
Hampton isn't the only company with a positive outlook. Interfor has invested millions in BC.
Our new sawmill at Adams Lake purchased the Weyerhaeuser timber in cooperation with West Fraser, and then have recently just invested $30 million in our Kootenay operations.
The company says it's confident it has enough timber supply to keep operations going.
Strategy in the Kamloops region was to procure some extra timber that we did with the cooperation with West Fraser on the Weyerhaeuser tenure. And then in the Kootenay region, we are very confident in our ability to have sufficient fiber for both of those mills.
Although the Burns Lake sawmill is one success story, there's still hurdles to overcome in the industry.
Clearly the pine beetle has caused a lot of damage, and so there's still probably going to be some effect. I don't think there's personally going to be a lot of sawmills that are going to close, but I think there could be some shifts and things that will come off.
Overcoming the challenges will be crucial to the 53,000 British Columbians whose livelihoods are tied to the industry. Aileen Machel, CKPG News.